This week has not been great for crypto, but Hyperliquid outperformed, and that's because it's getting more and more integrated with traditional finance. We've got Coinbase, that's now treasurer of USDC for Hyperliquid. We've got a Hype ETF, and now we've also got a regulatory battle, as in traditional finance exchanges are now fighting to get Hyperliquid under more regulation. Now, in this video, I want to look beyond the headlines. I want to figure out what's going to drive the price of Hype going forward. We're going to have a look at the on-chain data. We're trying to figure out who's currently short-term speculating on Hype, potentially exiting the market again, and who's in there for the long haul. So we've got our Hype ETF, and that helped the price, but we also have whales taking a lot of profit, millions of profit. Competition in traditional finance is trying to get Hyperliquid under CFTC oversight. And so the founders are already in talk with the policymakers. And the fundamental question is, will the demand of the Hype token grow faster than the unlocks? As in, the Hype token is also an inflating altcoin. The team gets more and more token allocation over time. Hi, my name is Gerhard. I've been in crypto for the last 8 years. I hit my first million 3 years ago, and I did this mainly through active trading. My trading history is linked down below under copy trading. On average, I outperformed buying and holding by 2% per month. Not every month is positive, but the long term matters. Last year, we also had a copy trading vault. While Bitcoin went down by 25%, we went up by 15%. And this year, our copy trading vault is doing quite well as well. We are up roughly 500,000 so far. Now here's the Hype token in US dollars. The problem with a chart like this is the general correlation in crypto. When all of crypto is going down, the Hype token has a harder time to outperform. And so really a cleaner way to look at the price is to divide it by the rest of the altcoin market. And here we see a relatively clear upwards trend. Yes, we are at the higher end of that trading range and there is some risk. This year is a potential 40% decline, but the overall trend is quite healthy. The token inflation is not yet taking over, and that probably also has to do with the platform getting more and more usage. This is the TVL, so the total value locked on the Hype blockchain, how much capital is currently on the protocol. That's now more than 5 billion. Why did we have this decline over here? That was October 10th. That's when Binance had a mispricing event in the Perpetual futures and when many perp traders got liquidated. It looks like that event now is slowly getting digested and we are back into growth mode. Here are the fees that get generated on the Hype protocol over time. Interestingly enough, they're not growing as quickly as the capital, and that's a first hint. Here's the market share of Hyperliquid compared to other decentralized exchange Perpetual futures platforms. It looks like over time, more and more people use Perpetual futures not just for short-term arbitrage trading, but for actual positioning. Because how else can we explain that the amount of bets, so the open interest, is higher recently compared to the trading volume. The trading volume continued to slow down, but the open interest is relatively stable. So more and more people use Hyperliquid and similar platforms just to open a position and keep it running for a while. Now clearly the Hype token also gets traded on the Perpetual futures. On the spot market, we had 130 million on Hyperliquid. On the Perpetual futures market, we had 700 million worth of trading volume. And most of those perp traders are betting on rising prices, as in the funding rate for the Hype token is positive. There are more people that bet long than short. More people think that the price of Hype long term will go up. That's what a positive funding rate means. Now check out the open interest, so the amount of bets on the Hype price. This is correlated with the Hype price itself as well, and it is recovering. Again, I don't think that the Hype price is mainly driven by the Perpetual futures demand. I think it's mainly long-term positioning and potentially spot buying and staking that's moving Hype. Even the trading volume isn't really that high, given that the price has rallied quite a bit. And clearly there's also no manipulation in terms of a short squeeze here, because there are very few shorts that get liquidated during a rally like this. I think the demand for Hype is rather organic. People use the platform and want to support the platform by buying the Hype token as well. I personally bought some Hype tokens in order to stake them to get reduced trading fees on the Hype platform. The copy trading that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that's done through Hyperliquid. This here is a screenshot of Hyperliquid. I actually recently asked AI to go through all of my trades on the trading channel and then summarize this on a page. And that's then where we got this chart over here. So on average, I made 5.3% per trade. I'm of course not showing the currently open trades here on YouTube. That's for the premium members. But here you can see the exact trading history. I try to be as transparent as possible. And every single trade is also linked to its Telegram message. For example, over here, shorting the wormhole token, that's this message here, and then subsequently closing the short. And that's then this over here. That's at the end of the year when I closed all positions of the copy trading. So all of this is transparent. All of this can be 100% verified. And I don't see many other people in the space that are willing to do that. Hyperliquid is a good platform. It is the largest perpetual futures exchange that's decentralized. The team seems to have quite some foresight and is not exiting the token so quickly that the price dumps. Instead, it's talking to regulation, trying to get embedded into traditional finance long term as well, through perpetual futures trading of commodities, for example. Yes, short term, there's clearly some price risk. But zooming out, I think Hype is one of the very few altcoins that might be worth holding for the long term. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish here regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube, or see you in premium. Link to premium pops up here on the screen. See you next time. Cheers.